Just kidding. Hi, everybody. I'm Ingy.net, and welcome to my last and worst talk of the day, of the conference. I'm going to talk about a module called Devel HDB. And so we'll take a look at that on MetaCpan. This is a HTML debugger. I'll blow it up a little so you can read it in the back. Basically, it's instead of doing a debugging session in your terminal, you can do it in the browser. So how many people have heard of this module before? Yeah, that's kind of the response I got from a lot of people, and that's why I decided to give a talk about it. It's worth knowing about, so let's check it out. Okay, so here's a little Perl program I wrote. It's going to say hello to one name and then say hello to another name. And let's run that program, see what it does. Print hello world and hello TPRC. Okay, so to run with the Perl debugger, how many people have used the Perl debugger in the terminal before? Okay, a lot of people. Great. You probably know it better than I do. I don't use it that much. But I will run this. Okay, so now we're in the debugger and we can step through things. You guys probably know a lot more about it, but I know that if I hit N here, I will go to the next thing, and then I can kind of just hit enter after that, and it will take me to the next thing. So right now I can say, I've set name to world. I can say $name, I think. Yeah. And it'll show me it's world. I'm going to hit enter, go to the next line. It printed hello world, and now I'm at this line. I'll hit this again, and then I can up arrow and get pname again. Hit it. Now it's TPRC. And I'll hit enter again. It says hello TPRC. And then it gives me this stupid thing that I have to type Q to quit. So, okay, great. Let's try it with this HTML debugger. So it's the same thing, except you put whatever the module is, capital D, Devel, : it's usually a lowercase name, but there's a bunch of different developers. The cutest one is Devel ebug, so you can type -D : ebug, and it looks like -debug. But this one's the HTML one. So let's run it. And what does it do? It gives us a URL to a local host website. So we click on it, and I already pre-blew it up for you. So now we're in this debugger thing. If we hover over variable names, it'll say that this is undef. And if I right-click or control-click on it, it's going to add it to the watch expressions over here. So now I can do all of the same keystrokes, and I don't have to hit enter after the keystrokes. Maybe there's a way to do that in the terminal. It was kind of annoying. I had to hit N and then enter, but here I can just hit N, go to the next one. Now watch, it's going to say hello name. It should have said hello world, but it didn't do anything. It's because it did that in the terminal. So it's running the program, and that's what the program does. It writes to the terminal or to standard out, and that's where standard out's going. So you don't see the output. It's kind of a shame. I think it should, I wish I could capture that as well and show it here. There's a lot I wish that this program could do. Talk a little bit more about that in a bit. So then we go to the next one. And I put the 1 there because if I didn't, the whole thing would kind of go into this crash state, which I'll show you in a second. And then I wouldn't see that we got past print hello TPRC and go back to the thing and said, yep, it printed that. And now I hit N, and look what happens. I get this kind of horrible thing. I say, okay, I have 1,000, I don't know what, it's pretty janky. And then you go over here, and the thing crashed on the other side too. So anyway, it's not making you that excited about it, and maybe you shouldn't be, but I think it's a cool technology, and I'll say a little bit more about how we can make it better maybe. So I'm going to show you one other program. So today, and it's kind of like my way to tell you about my other talks that maybe you didn't see, I gave a talk on new destructuring syntax for Perl. And so what that kind of looks like is, like every language, according to OpenAI, has destructuring assignment except for Perl, and now Perl has it because I decided to add it. So, and actually I didn't point out, a woman wrote a module on CPAN to do this kind of thing, but it wasn't kind of a syntax thing, and I forgot to mention that in my last talk. I forget what the name is, but just look up destructuring in CPAN, and you'll find that I should have given credit there where credit was due. So here we have this assign thing with a 0 for some technical reasons. read about it online. But anyway, down here we have this weird line where we're saying my, and then a data structure on the left-hand side. Well, we never seen that in Perl before. And then person. So person in this case is a hash ref, and it could be a method that returned a hash ref as long as whatever's on the right-hand side is a hash ref that kind of fits this thing. It's looking for a key name, and it'll put it in the my variable, the lexical variable name, and it's looking under the hash that's at the faves key, something that has two elements, and it'll assign the first to drink and the second to color. And then we can print name, where's color, and drinks, blah. So we get out of here and run the program. And Ingy wears yellow and drinks coffee. That's true. Gugad wears blue and drinks tea. That's true. But I used to live with Gugad, and he drinks a lot of coffee, and I drank some tea at his place too. So just thought you might want to know that. Okay, so let's run it in the debugger. Now this is weird because it uses source filtering, so it kind of messes up the whole debugger. I'm just going to step through it. And it's kind of weird because it's going to say, it's not actually going to, it didn't say Ingy wears yellow and drinks coffee yet. Now it said it after it was supposed to say good God, and now, yeah, so this doesn't, debugging doesn't work so good with source filtering. Let's try it in the HTML debugger. So we do that and go over to the debugger. And I can tell you already that it should say, we go back, and it just threw out a bunch of junk to the screen. It's pretty terrible. And then get to here. Now it actually, I think, let's go one more. Okay, so it ended. And yeah, there it says, okay, so here they are at the end, kind of all out of order. Before it printed one up here, I don't know, whatever. Sorry, this is kind of funny. Great, thank you. So let's see, let's go exit. And let's hit Control C here. Okay. So I rewrote this program to not use source filtering, and I'll just run it in the, well, it behaves much better once you say N. I guess you do have to say N. Yep, actually said it this time. Go through it, etc. Get out of here, and let's go do the HTML debugger. Okay, do this. So step through it. And let's actually go ahead and right-click on all the variables here so we can see them as they get populated. So we do next. Okay, so we got Ingy, we got coffee on the right, upper right, you look, and yellow prints it to the screen. Yeah, it's there, and mixed in with a bunch of junk. Okay, and then changes it to Gugad T blue and prints it and terminates. So the thing is, we should improve this module. It's a good start, and it has actually helped me solve some problems in a way that doing it in the terminal just would have been too gross. So it was helpful for certain things. It's actually a subclass of another module written by the same guy called Devel chitten. I don't know what it means. I tried to figure it out, but anybody know? Chitten? Yeah. Okay. Explain it later, because I know you'll give a full explanation. So you can see that it has all these methods for writing your own debugger. That's basically what it is. So anyone wants to write a debugger in some other thing, maybe look at this base class. Okay, so that's the end. Don't clap, because that's really all I have for this module. Let's see, people on Perl, just like yourselves, seem totally unaware of it, and a few of them were like, I've been looking for this my whole life. You know, and obviously they hadn't tried it yet, but yeah, we should get I would be interested in helping anyone who wants to help work on it. It would be kind of a cool thing. So back in March, I was organizing and accepting talks, and we were a week away, and we didn't have any talks, and then everybody submitted at the last minute, and we were fine. But I submitted 6 talks, I think, and anyway, so I needed to submit this, but I really wanted to improve it, and then I did some way other cooler things that I thought I put all my time into. So So I figured to make up for the time, which I probably don't have that much actually, because I'm just a talker, I wanted to show you two other debugging modules that I use a lot. How many know about XXX? See your data in the nude. I mean, this is I wrote it, and it's my favorite. I use it daily. I mean, all day, daily. It's fantastic. Let me show you how it works. So you just use it. So I use it with M here, and when I run this, it does a YAML dump of whatever's on the right-hand side of this. But in Perl, that's cool because you don't have to use parentheses. Let's take a look at this program. And I am going to run it with, yes, I'm going to run it with that. And it prints what I wanted it to print. But let's say I wanted to see, oh, sorry. Live demos are great. So let's say I want to see this stuff. I just put a www in front of it. www will warn what's ever on the right-hand side and return it so that the program still runs. So you can just throw it in anywhere. It's fantastic. So I do this and run it, and then I can see those two things. What if I just want to see what the faves are for Ingy? I could just put it here, run it again, and Ingy's faves are yellow and coffee, and then it does the rest. So it just continues running. So yeah, and if you put XXX, it will die there. So we'll see what Good God's favorites are, but we'll just die. And if we wanted to get a full stack trace there, we could use ZZZ, and it would give us not much of a stack trace, but that's a full stack trace, 2 calls. Okay, so that's cool. There's one problem with this. I use it in all these modules, and then I end up shipping them to CPAN and forgetting to declare that it's a dependency, and it was never supposed to be a dependency. So, and I finally figured out how to, I just wanted it to be anywhere. Thank you. But, you know, in every package, you can't declare something globally in Perl. You can't use a module that's available globally, or can you? Well, if you put it in, let's say, the main namespace, then you could just call main XXX from anywhere, right? But the cool thing about the main namespace is you don't have to say main. You can just say : any function name. Everybody knows that, right? From any package, and it will call the main : in front means main : which is the fully qualified name of that thing. So let's look at this again. So let's get rid of the XXX, and then I will you can put it in front of my too. Here, we'll do an XXX my, and we will run this sucker. So, okay, so I got an error because XXX is not loaded, but if I put : in front, it works. Now, why did it work? Because I didn't load it anywhere. Well, I actually did. If I say bang, echo, $Perl5 opt, I keep this in my environment. I thought I did. I must have. Did I type it wrong? Thank you. Yeah, so you say minus M XXX equals global, and that's a cue to put it into the main namespace, and then you can use it from anywhere and not worry about shipping it. So that's pretty cool. And okay, so on to the next module. Who knows about Carp Always? This is fantastic, and it's really simple. I just found out about it, and it's a godsend. So only 2 people did it. So do you use it regularly, you 2 people? Okay, cool. So Closure is a language that I'm porting to Perl, and I call it Ingy. And so we're going to run a couple of Closure one-liners and then a couple of Ingy one-liners. A count for a vector, which is an array, gives the count of 4 elements, 2 keywords and 2 integers there. But if you run it, if you put it in curly braces, it's a mapping, and so you have 2 pairs, so it prints 2. Ingy knows about this. I mean, Ingy is slowly getting towards full closure, so it does the vectors fine, but when we run it on mappings, I get an error. Well, that's great. Now I got to go look in RT at line 333, and I'd like to know kind of what happened, but, you know, and I don't actually want to go into the code. I just want to see, how did I even get there? So what I can do is just set Perl5 opt to -M Carp Always, and look what happens. I get the full stack trace right there, so I can see the path that I got there. It's awesome. In fact, I do this so often that I created a shell script that basically sets the op and then runs whatever thing. So I just put CA in front of any command I did. And then so you can actually run a command like this. And then you would say CA bang bang, which does the last command, right? But it won't run because we're not in a shell. We're in a weird thing I wrote. So it would do this, and I'd run it, and I get the full stack trace. And that is the actual end. Any questions? Pretty straightforward. No, seriously, any questions? Yes, a question there.
In HTTP,
yes.
How separated are the graphical elements from the debugger part?
The question was in the Devel HTTP, how separated are the graphical elements from the
main line debugger running?
From the main lines above it running.
Could you easily slap a different UI in there, or would you just subclass it down from chitten?
Oh, right. So the Devel HTTP is setting over Devel chitten, did I say that right? And how easy would it be to slap something else? Great question. I don't know. Why don't you tell me when you look into it? Any other questions? Yes.
Is HTTP send any special features to debug, like with like a web interface? Since it's a web thing itself, I just was curious if it possibly do any web stuff.
I'm using it against a web app or that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't do web apps. Sorry. But it's a great thing to figure out. One thing I will say is what is it? It's $DB single all caps, right? Is how you put that in a statement anywhere in your code, and the debugger, when you say continue in it, will go to that point and stop. So that is and that works in the HTML debugger. You can just put a line anywhere you want it to stop instead of having to go and find the breakpoint and putting a breakpoint on things and that kind of thing. So, yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Have you contacted the author of the contract yet?
I haven't yet, no. But I didn't dig in. The question was, have I gotten back to the author to tell him about all the bugs? And I should just maybe start by putting the bugs on the GitHub repo. Assuming there's a GitHub repo, there's a lot of modules on CPAN that you don't know. They're just on some guy's hard drive. And so, yeah, unfortunately. I'll take one more. Anybody's gone? All right, in that case, I will take a bow. And I'll have a comment. It's just been really great being with everybody and having great conversations. And thanks for coming. It's really great.